Good morning, everyone, wherever you are. Welcome to another episode of Untomato. I am your host, Ambassador Dr. Uwa Onyoha Osimiri. Untomato means words of wisdom that I share to add to your repertoire. We have a very wonderful show for you today. Although my co host is not going to be with me today, but she'll be with me next Saturday. So this one is a solo episode, and I am excited to share it with you. Before we get started, though, I'd like to ask you to please support our channel by subscribing to Ntomodo TV on YouTube. It allows us to keep you abreast of what we are going to be showcasing every weekend. And also, that is the way that you support our organization, our program. So I'm looking forward to hearing from you, and it gives you an opportunity to also ask questions. You can go to YouTube and ask questions and engage with the program. So again, thank you for being here. The topic of discussion today is important. It is important because of the world we're living in. There's too much angst, there's so much adversity, and sometimes individuals have difficulty dealing with what life presents them on a daily basis, finding glory in adversity, finding glory. Where we're going to delve, at least I'm going to delve into the profound concept of glory. Glory has a lot of definitions. Everybody has their own definition, and some imaginary, imaginative, some not so much. But it's important that you understand what glory means to you, and you have the responsibility, quite frankly, to define glory in your terms, in your own words. But I want to share my definition of glory. To me, it is the ability, glory, the ability to rise above your circumstances, to surpass your expectations, to surpass the expectations that people have for you, and even the one that you have for yourself. Try and surpass it and emerge as your best self, standing tall with confidence. Glory is about surrounding yourself with goodness and allowing that goodness to define you and not allowing other people to define you. That's glory. That's what glory means to me. What does it mean to you? What definition do you attach to glory? Is glory to you something outside of yourself, outside of your experience? Does glory mean other people's achievements? Or does glory mean what you define it to be? How you overcome challenges? That's glory. When you achieve something, that's glory. When you don't allow circumstances, principalities, and situations overcome you and define how you're going to live your life. I want to share my journey with you. You see, when I was a child, there was the Nigerian Biafran War. I don't know, some of you may be old enough to have experienced it. Some of you may not have experienced it. Some of you have heard about it. The Nigerian Civil War. Me and my family, we faced unimaginable hardships. You name it, we went through it. Hardships, hunger, went through loss, for me personally, abuse, fear of the bombings, the war, the sound of war. That was traumatic. It was traumatic to see airplanes flying because in your little mind, in my little mind at that time, it reminded me of when the bombs were dropped on civilians and the mass killings. That was trauma. And yet, after it all, I refused to let those experiences define me. Now, with my fathers, now I've got to give my father credit and my parents credit, with their unwavering support, I learned to move beyond the pain. Instead of dwelling on the past, I focused on the future, a future that I wanted for myself, a future that nobody could define, but in my mind, only I could do so. And it's the same thing with you. in the middle of your adversity, you define what future you want to see. How do you want to get out of it? Are you going to wallow in it? Are you going to sit there and say, woe is me? Or are you going to say, okay, this too shall pass. I'm going to overcome this. You see, it's mind over matter. If you believe that your situation is temporary, believe it or not, it becomes temporary. Yes. There are certain things that we have that we can't control. There are certain things that are put in front of us, before us, around us, that have a chokehold on us. And we don't know how we're going to get out of it. But mind over matter. Sometimes when you don't focus on all those negativity and focus on what you want for yourself, where you want to be, where you want to go, you can find a way to find glory. I focused on the future. I focused on the future, knowing that I had, as a child, I had many more years to live and grow. You wouldn't think a child would think that way. But I did. Thanks again to my parents. Adversity is inevitable. It is what shapes your character. That's what it does. That's what adversity does. In ways that we don't often see at first. When you're in the middle of your challenge, you don't see the good in the adversity. It is how we learn to weave and bob and get out of the way. It is how we learn to climb the mountaintop from the valley. Sometimes being in that moment is so painful, but just remember, you still have an option. You still have an option to come out of it. You may not come out of it immediately, but if you set it in motion, if you decide that, okay, from now on, this is what I'm going to do, I'm moving out of this, that's when you find your glory. Now, I tell you, look around the world today. In places filled with despair, we talk about like Ukraine. Ukraine is fighting a superpower, determined to reduce it to rubble. But Ukrainians are still fighting. And it is because they are fighting that the world has reached out to them. You look at certain African regions, people are fighting wars that's beyond their control. The nature's anger, floods, disease, all sorts of things going on in our world, in our regions. We witness incredible people in the middle of that adversity. Incredible stories of resilience. Incredible, amid the chaos, you will find moments of children laughing, mothers caring for their young, for their children, for their families, young people finding ways to play even in the middle of all that adversity. That, my brothers and sisters, is what I call glory. Finding strength and hope in the darkest times, that's glory. What is your glory? Where do you find your glory? If you haven't found it, what are you going to do? What are you going to do? Sometimes circumstances can be so bad, you think there's nothing you can do about it. I'm stuck in here. But I want to share a video of a young woman in the middle of all kinds of chaos, in the middle of despair. She found opportunities in that. She found glory in the middle of despair. I just want to share that video with you and we'll continue.
This is my oil city, where I make my own money from. I want to advise Nigerians today, especially Nigerian youth. There is dignity in labor. This will take me back to 7 years ago, when I lost my only brother. My mother gave birth to 5 children, 4 girls and a boy. Then my elder brother died because of poverty. The death of my brother gave my mother high blood pressure that we're still struggling with her blood pressure till today. Guys, there is dignity in labor. Work hard and do not be ashamed of what you do. Do not let anybody make you feel bad about what you do for a living. This is where I make my money from. I will tell you a story on how I've made money from this dirty you're seeing here. This place might look very dirty to you, but it is my firm. It is where I make money from. My elder brother died because of 7,000 naira. We could not afford his drugs. We could not afford we could not afford 7,000 naira. And he died, my only brother. He died and left us. After the death of my brother, I decided to work hard like a man. I work like, I don't know. I work like a man. There is nothing I cannot do with this my hands. There is nothing I cannot do with this my two hands. God has blessed me. I know I'm inside dirty, but God has really blessed me. With this dirty you're seeing here, this is my company. With this whole thing you're seeing here, I have built a house for my mother. And I've bought 2 cars as a young girl. And I use the same iPhone 15 you people are using. And I do whatever thing I want to do. After this place you're seeing me, if I come outside and I'm dressed, you will not know I work in this kind of place. My brothers and sisters, I've made money from this place you're seeing. These are my workers. Show them. These are my workers. I bet, see, carry that other bag. These are my workers. I pay them, they go out. They most time we go out together and we pick these things and we come, we sort for the ones we want and we make our money. We sell them to companies where they melt all these things and make money too. I built a house for my mother from this thing, this empty, this smelly thing you're seeing here. I bought my 2 cars. I bought my land. And I'm going to build my own house soon. My brothers and sisters, work hard. Don't wait for Tinubu. I am here to motivate you today. Work hard. See me, I'm a very beautiful girl. I'm a very beautiful girl. If I want to go out and sleep with men to make money, I can do that. Sleeping with men will not be your source of income. My sisters, work hard. There are a lot of things you can do in Nigeria to make money. We are blessed. A lot of us blessed. You can make money with your 2 hands. God has favored us. You can make money with your 2 hands. You don't need to sleep with men. Me, I don't even need a man in my life to make money. The house I built for my mom, I built it from my money, my hard-earned money. I make the money from this thing you're seeing here. I bought a car for myself from this thing you're seeing here. My sister, work hard. Leave man or nothing man go do for you. Not believing that you can share your body to make money. Work hard like me and you will see that God will bless you. My name is Love Matthew. If my story will encourage you today, if my story will touch you today, please share this video. Thank you.
Love Matthew, that is her name. She asked us to share her story, and I loved her story because it's in line with finding glory in adversity. She did not wait around. She did not sell her body. She found an option in the middle of her pain and frustration and adversity. She found a way to make it. It is the same thing with each and every one of us. We don't have to we don't have to resort to negativity just because we are surrounded by negativity. She found glory by using her hands and working even in the most despicable environment. My father, Ahankeo Kyonyoha, they all emerged victorious from their struggles. They did not allow their circumstances to define them. And that's what we do. You know, somebody stumps their toe on a wood or a stone or something. Their lives, and that toe hurts. Maybe it swells up a little bit. Their lives now becomes focused on that toe. And they'll bellyache about it and they want to tell everybody about their little toe. And they forget that there's something else beyond the pain of the moment. And that's what we need to be. Go beyond your pain of the moment and look at the future. And ask yourself, what can I add to my life so it's not just based on the circumstances, so that your struggles don't define you, because it does tend to define us. These greats that I mentioned, and of course the world is full of greats, their legacies remind us that glory comes from rising. No matter what your situation is, You can rise above it. You don't have to stay there. When you stay in the middle and you're looking up from when you're in the valley and you're looking up, you'll find, okay, there's something beyond this valley. That means you've got to look up. And as you look up, you find that there's a mountain. And above that mountain, there's a top, the mountain top. If you're in the middle of if you're in the valley, you have to ask yourself, how do I come out of this? Are you just going to sit there? Or are you going to figure it out? How are you going to climb out of this? How are you going to move your mind and your body forward so you can get out of that valley? If you choose to stay there, it's your fault. Now, there are circumstances that there's something that we can't do anything about. But if you have your mind, you can use your mind and work it out. The joy may not come immediately, but it will. Out of the dark comes light. Even in the middle of your darkness, the morning has to come. It will come eventually. But the important thing I'm trying to tell you is this. There may be some things that you wanted to see happen and it did not happen how you wanted it. Okay, we get it. Maybe the person you voted for did not win. Maybe the person that you have put your heart and your soul to help you did not help you. But as long as you have your mind, you can work it out. You can figure it out. Wealth is not just money. Wealth is not just money. Wealth is the mind. Stephen Biko said to the young South Africans, the most powerful tool in the hands of an oppressor is the mind of the oppressed. Every single day we are oppressed by something. We're oppressed by things we eat. We're oppressed by the people that we surround ourselves with. We're oppressed by where we live. We're oppressed by something. But if you understand that your oppressor uses your mind, then you don't give your mind to the oppressor. That, like I said, your oppressor could be circumstances, places, principalities. If you don't give your mind to them, you can come out of it. You can come out of it. You need to ask yourself, when was life so dark for you, but somehow you managed to crawl out of it, out of your circumstances? Every one of us have had moments that have tried our humanity, that have tried our desire to continue to move forward, that have even tried us to the point that we want to give up. People every day want to commit suicide because they cannot deal with the moment. Every one of us. I had one of my most glorious moments came when I desperately wanted to read. See, during the war, we had no options but to read. For me, my mother had a restaurant, and after I worked in a restaurant in the morning, I would look forward to the time because schools were closed, obviously due to the war. But I loved to read. But I couldn't attend school, so reading became an escape, a way to transcend my reality. Even when I faced obstacles in accessing libraries, I always found a way to immerse myself in stories. I created stories myself. When the war was raging around us, when nothing but pain and suffering surrounded us, when the stench of decomposing bodies who had been killed during the war and had not been moved, when all that stench, when all that horror was around us, I found a way. Even though I couldn't go to the libraries, but I remember those stories that I read from the books like Hans Andersen fairy tales and some of the stories my parents told us. I would pretend that I was in that story, and that allowed me an escape from my reality. So these experiences shaped my understanding of glory. Glory is finding a way out, whatever that may be, that will give you pleasure, that will make you smile, that will help you find a way to climb up the mountaintop, even if it's slow moving, even if you have to drag yourself up there. But I tell you, as you start to come out of it, as you find a way to find your glory, you start feeling a whole lot better. That is the fun. That's the beauty of finding glory. Sometimes it takes time, but if in your mind you say, I'm not going to stay here, this is not going to define me, whatever that may be. I know people think it's a simplistic thing. Oh, just forget it. You people just can't forget it. No, that's not the point. You're not being asked to forget. You're being asked to know how to cope, because this is life. It's going to happen to you. It happens. Even the most successful human beings, even the most successful human beings that walk this earth today, had to find glory, had to come out of the darkness into the light. And it is in that light, and it's in that action of moving away, coping, finding means to cope. That is how you find your glory. That is how glory happens. But you have to work your mind up. The people that I admire are not even those who have made it. Those are important. They give me a clue as to what happens when you get there. I admire those who are on the journey. I admire those who are still on the journey. They haven't made it yet. But in their minds, they believe that they can. They believe that this too shall pass. I may not have it now, but I'll have it tomorrow. And it's up to me. That's glory. It's up to me. What I do, what I become, if I make it or not, it's up to me. I think, unfortunately, everybody thinks that, well, maybe not everybody, but most people think that glory is money. Glory is having a nice car. Glory is having fancy clothing. Glory is all those things that we see other people have, that we yearn for. And when we don't have it, we say, oh, they have glory. I don't. But you have to remember, they used to be where you are now. If you haven't made it yet, they used to be there. They've made it because they have walked towards it. And so can you. Yes, it may sound like I'm being simplistic. I get it. It's not that easy. If you don't have money, what can you do? And sometimes that's what holds people back. I don't have the money. Yeah, there's certain things that you can't get if you don't have the money. But there are certain things you can get without money. Peace of mind, for instance. Peace of mind. Sometimes you acknowledge those things that you can get. Cultivate resilience. To cultivate it, to cultivate resilience, you have to practice gratitude. Be thankful for just the simple things that you have, that even some of these so-called wealthy people don't have. Breathing, inhaling and exhaling. If you take a deep breath and let it go, that's a blessing. There are people whose breath have been stilled. They are 6 feet under, and here you are, still walking, still breathing. That's when somebody asks me, how you doing? I say, still breathing. I'm still breathing. And as a matter of fact, I have friends that before they even ask me, they said, yeah, we know you're still breathing. Yes, because I'm grateful for that. Because I cannot achieve anything without breath. You have to be grateful. That don't be ashamed of your age. That's a reason to be grateful. Many people died at 14, at 10, at 1. And here you are, at whatever age you are. Be grateful, be thankful. Practice gratitude wherever you are. Because it's in acknowledgement of where you are that you can anticipate going beyond where you are. But if you're not grateful for where you are, you're not going to be grateful when you get to wherever it is you're chasing. So at the moment, take a deep breath, enjoy that. Are you eating? Did you prepare a good meal yesterday? Well, even if you didn't eat a fancy meal, did you get anything? And if you did get something, share with somebody who doesn't. Listen, you can't save the world. That is not what I'm saying. If you have something to share, do so. If you don't have something to share, then the bottom line is be grateful for what you do have for yourself. You've been blessed. Are you eating? Do you have the ability to connect with others? Do you have friends? Now, I know that what COVID did for a lot of us is it took us away from friends. We stopped having friends. Many of us stopped having friends. We just became very comfortable with just being by ourselves. That's a good thing, though, to some degree, because you need to find yourself. You need to be comfortable with yourself before you can share who you are with somebody else. That's important. I get it. But at some point, you have to shift your mindset and understand that people are also good for you. If you hang around the right people, never hang around people who are not good for you. You see, you are as bad as the company you keep, or as good as the company you keep. The company you keep don't necessarily have to be rich people. They don't have to have fancy things. Maybe just those individuals who share your vision, who think like you, positive. Those positive energies around you, they help you find your glory. Those negative people will keep you in the valley every single day you have breath, and you will never climb out of it. Because you see, misery likes company. Those who are miserable, if you surround yourself with such people, you will be miserable. You're preparing yourself for failure when you hang around failures. Failures are not necessarily, I'm not talking about, if somebody doesn't have money, that's failure. No. I'm talking about people who don't have aspirations, people who don't want to go beyond their condition, people who don't see that mountaintop. All they see is the bottom of the valley, and they want to keep you there. As you're trying to climb, they're grabbing your legs and pulling you down. They want you to stay right there with them. And if you say you don't want to stay, they want to disown you. That's all right. They can disown you. You don't have to be with them. You don't have to be with anyone that doesn't make you or help you achieve glory. Glory is coming out of adversity in whatever way you can and finding a reason to smile, to inhale and exhale, to be a part of the world. Find some good people to make friends with. And I tell you, it's always good to have that one good friend. If somebody hasn't found you, you may have to go to places where you can connect with someone who can be a good friend. I'm not a person that likes a lot of people around me. I really truly don't. I'm quite introverted. I love my own company. I love to read. I love to write. But I do have good friends, just a couple of them that I love to talk to, that I like to go out with. Just recently, I had the opportunity to go out with some ladies. It was just beautiful. I had a wonderful time. But they are not necessarily, you don't have to have a pack of people to be around for you to feel good about or feel that you have friends. It could be that one person, it could be 2 or 3. But you have to reach out to the world. When you do that, you're shifting your mind. It's a mind shift. And it helps you to see the good in challenging situations. It helps you to see people that can help you out of your challenges. Now, if you can't find any such person, then work it out by yourself. Work it out by yourself. But staying in the valley is not an option. That is not where the glory is. The glory is on top of the mountain. No matter how long it takes you to get there, no matter how long, no matter what you have to do, as long as it's positive, as long as it's within the law, do what makes you happy. Do what takes you up to the mountaintop. Don't stay there in the valley. And certainly don't hang around people that will keep you down there, because there's a whole lot of people that will be happy to keep you down there. Set small goals, achievable goals for yourself. Little things. Nothing has to be so dramatic. Even just making your bed, just getting up in the morning and making your bed, that's a good thing. That's positive. That's going in the right direction, because you know what happens? That's one task that you don't have to deal with for the rest of the day. That helps your mind. It makes you feel good. Little tiny things that we sometimes take for granted, they accumulate at the end of the day. Going for a simple walk, being with nature, listening to the birds, watching the squirrels, all those things are little things you can do to get your mind out of the valley. To me, that's glory. When I smell fresh air and I see all the little critters everywhere, it reminds me that I am alive and I have an opportunity, still have an opportunity to build, to move beyond my condition, whatever that may be. Preparing a good dinner, preparing a good meal, that's a little task. You know, people get so lazy. I hate to say that. And I'm not speaking any ill against the restaurants and all that sort of thing. It's good to go to the restaurants now and then, but just remember, you don't know who's preparing your meal and how they're preparing it. You're just assuming when you go out to eat, you just assume it's done properly. Now and then, certainly go. But I tell you, just preparing your own meal, healthy meal, is very important. That's part of how you grow. That's part of how you come out of or you set small achievable goals. Sing while you work, while you prepare your meals. These are little victories. These are tiny little victories. You know, I said this one time, one of the shows that I did, when I go for walks, you know, sometimes when you estimate the distance that you have to walk, you start getting discouraged. You know, you're not sure you want to do all of that. But when you go for a long walk, look at landmarks along the way. You know, there's the tree down the street. If I get to that tree, I say glory or victory, because you're making you're celebrating small victories. And then you go further, you see that house down the road. Okay, once I go past that house, I will say glory, victory, I've done it. And you when you count all those landmarks along the way, you'll be amazed at how many victories you're going to say or how many glories you're going to say. And before you know it, you're back home. It works for me all the time. Try it, it works. Building little victories, what they do is help you build momentum. That's what they do. It helps you build momentum towards something a little bit more big, much bigger, to achieve more significant objectives. It's okay to seek support, ladies and gentlemen. It's okay to seek support. Remember, it's okay to seek support from your community. We're never alone in our struggles. Some people understand and are willing to help. So even in the middle of your challenge, you may want to even ask some people to help you. Never assume that you're alone. As you navigate through adversity, focus on your personal growth and the glory that awaits you. It's important to do so. Embrace the challenges, find the lessons, and don't forget to recognize your moments of triumph. Celebrate all those moments that you take for granted. Remember that in every challenge lies the opportunity for greatness. Live your glory, and much love to you all. That is what I hope and pray for each and every one of you today. I want you to please take the time and understand that it doesn't even matter what your challenges are. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. No matter how small, no matter how large, you absolutely can achieve anything that you want to achieve. Don't ever give up. Don't ever give up. Glory shall be yours if you want it to be. If you want it to be. And that is my program for today. Finding glory in adversity. Although it may be dark, your glory will definitely come. And so it is. I am wishing you nothing but goodness today, tomorrow, and for as long as you have breath. Never give up. Never give up. Keep trying till the glory comes. And so it is. Good day.